this article, I think it's hilarious.
Which the bear?
The one with the bear.
Yeah.
Like, so what do you do in a situation? Oh, so first let me tell everyone what's going on here.
Sure.
So this couple, I think they live in, I think it's Oregon, no, Lake Tahoe, California. So they live in Lake Tahoe, California, and they were trying to sell their home, and a picture was snapped by what I'm guessing is their neighbor. A bear got into their backyard, and it's a picture of them fighting off this bear, or like trying to scare him away, which is a smart idea because whenever a bear comes up to you, you try to act bigger than him or her, and then it scares it off, right? But this picture went viral, kinda, and it caught the people that were trying to buy the home caught wind of this and backed out of the deal, because they were like, "Oh, a bear got into that backyard very easily. I don't want to live here."
Yeah.
So what would you do if something like that happened to a client?
If a buyer refuses to buy a house, there are measures in the contract that can hold them to the deal, but I strongly feel like if a buyer doesn't want to buy a house, then they're not going to buy a house. I mean, no matter what the legal ramifications are going to be, if they're afraid or they feel like the deal's unfair, they're not going to buy it. You might as well take their good faith deposit. You might as well recover any damages that you can get out of them prior to release, and then you put it back on the market, you know. And if you don't want to release them out of the contract, there are options. In the state of Virginia, if a buyer refuses to buy and you deem them to be in breach of the contract, what you would do is you would relist the property, you would resell the property, and any loss that you had to take, then you could take action if there was a loss or a detriment to it. So, you know, the ultimate authority in any dispute, if you execute it through the legal channels that you would have to go, is through the judge. The judge's gavel has to fall for you to be able to enforce anything at any time, okay? So it's not worth the hassle of doing that, and that's why I go to the script of the real estate purchase agreement is just high-end toilet paper for most cases in a dispute, because if a buyer doesn't want to buy or a seller gets into a spot that they don't want to sell, you're not going to force them. You know, you could, but the likelihood of you doing so is like so super small that you're gonna get made whole financially from all the investment that you spent, and you're gonna go find the next best available option. And you know, so in this case, the buyer spooked over the bear. I think that's silly, personally. A story that I had that's similar to this is that a buyer was spooked of a close neighboring cemetery that was unmarked that he discovered, and he no longer wanted to buy the property. He wanted to get out of the deal. We tried to talk him into it and do everything that we could to convince him, but he was actually afraid to be in that area because of the unmarked cemetery that was just right beyond his property line, and he wasn't going to buy the house for nothing. So we just let him out. You know, we didn't even keep his good faith deposit. You know, we just let him go. We're confident in the products that we list, and we know that we're going to get somebody else on the deal anyway. So that's exactly how I handled it. You know, these people that got out of that deal were probably acting irrationally, knowing that this is 1 in a million. This is very low odds that this happens. So they probably missed out on a great house that they were probably really on and really liked until they became fearful because of a bear sneaking into the gate, you know, or whatever that is.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy. I guess it probably climbed a tree.
Oh, probably climbed the tree and jumped in.
Yeah.
It might have been. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Bears don't do anything for no reason either. So it must have been,
obviously it was.
They must have left like trash out or something.
Yeah, obviously it's hungry.